Hello and welcome to Corelli Collectibles. This review is going to be a little different because this guy's just too big for my review space, and he's pretty soon going to be too big for my review light, so I don't really know how good this review is going to look. Sorry in advance if the color's terrible or if it's got a lot of shadows or anything. I will do my best, but this is going to be a bit tricky here. So, Cube Whale is really barely a cube. I guess, like, this inner part is a cube, but these outside parts make it more of a kind of treasure chest rectangle-shaped thing. So, a little bit of a cheat. Not necessarily as much as Cube Rhinos, because that guy is not a cube at all. At least this is pretending to be a cube. But other than that, it really doesn't do anything. This is not like a feature-rich mode in any of the toys in this line. Their cube mode is pretty much just a cube. Or I think as Dawson Rider says, they just bees cubes. That is pretty accurate. I mean, they just are what they are, and since this guy is so much larger than all the other cubes, it's not even like you can really stack them up or anything. So it doesn't even really have the interplay in cube form that the other ones have. So that's a little bit of a shame. The other thing that's a little bit of a shame is the way they chose to make this guy transform. Earlier in the series of reviews, I said that I wasn't a huge fan of the Cube Eagle spring-loaded arm gimmick. Well, unfortunately, they basically did the same thing in this. You take this giant water spigot weapon dealio, and you slot it into this chest area, and when you do that, bam! These things come out, and it forms a whale, and like, that's pretty cool, I guess. I wish I could have just done that. And frankly, whenever I'm using this toy, that is what I do. I don't use any of the auto gimmicky stuff. There are these big clips here. They're triggered on the inside by these red bits, so you can really easily, well, not smash them into the table like I just did. It's a little awkward when I'm trying to reach around my camera and do this. Yeah, but you can activate these manually and kind of slowly move them down so they're not smashing into each other with such gusto, and then just kind of plop this in there when you're done. That's obviously your choice. If you like that kind of spring-loaded automorph stuff, good for you. I'm not really a huge fan of it, so I'll pass. But this is still a fine toy, don't get me wrong. It does not ruin the toy or anything, but the transformation to the whale uses spring-loaded stuff, and the transformation to the robot uses spring-loaded stuff, and I'm just really not into those kind of gimmicks, so kind of misses the bar for me, but it's really cool-looking whale thing. I mean, it's very neat. I'll try to quickly throw one of these guys into their animal form so you can kind of see what's up with their size, relative size, that is. Oh, come on, Cube Tiger, what are you doing? So, I mean, it's pretty large. I mean, it's not the hugest thing ever, but it's significantly larger than the individual cube guys. And I'm not going to take apart Dodekai-Oh just to show, but, I mean, you saw how much bigger he is than the cube thing, so he's about that big compared to him, or, like, much larger if you put the trailer on his butt. So it's a big piece. This is a big guy. But again, in this form, he really does not do all that much other than the play gimmick thing, which is the auto transformation stuff. So what you're doing for that is pretty much taking him, standing it up like this, and then using this whole thing like a key to turn that, and that pops out the arms and the head, and then you just manually pop up this little bit that will let his face show through the visor. And then when you're done that, you just want to pull this out, and it's going to clip on using these clips right here, like so. And then you have Dodekai-Oh. And he's cool. I mean, obviously his legs are one big whale stump kind of thing, so you can't really get any. I mean, I guess theoretically you could kind of get some separation in there like that if you're cool with him being a little wobbly. He's not really that wobbly, honestly. That's definitely a display option, but they don't click in until they're together, so that's what you have there, and then it's pretty much standard Sentai. His arms can move. That's really all you're getting. He does, I guess, have some inward motion if you want to unplug the arm flaps, but that's hardly articulation. Also because it's spring-loaded, so you can't even really pose it like that. Yep. So, he's a big dude. Here he is next to this Mamma Jamma. So you can see how those stack up against each other. And really with that, the only thing there's left to do is just to combine these guys all up into their ultimate combo formation, and then we will pretty much be done, short of showing off a couple simple features with these Oxzords, which mecha rather, which isn't going to take very long. Onward! So to start this process, you basically want to put everything back into its cube mode. It's the easiest way to go. This guy is still in his really only mode. You do not need this part, so this is going to go join this large trailer, the large sword, and the large gun with the tinier sword that we don't need. That stuff's just getting left behind. We're not using any of that stuff, so it's a little lame. All these Oxzords are going to come in later, so we're just going to set those off to the side right now. We just want to deal with our main cubes, which are going to stack 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. And believe it or not, those are going to become both of the legs, so his legs are going to be about as tall as Dodekai-Oh is right now. Yep, so this review light here, this is not gonna work. So you want to take this, pop this off, this will come back into play later, and you are basically putting him back into his cube form, except before we do that, we're going to come over here and we're going to pop these two big sticks off the side. And then just continue reverting him back to his cube mode, and you want to have the gold plate stuff facing forward. And then, just for expedience, I'm going to take Cube Rhinos here, come around to the back, open this up. I'm just going to drive him right in there. Until he clicks like that. And then we're going to pick this guy up. We're going to situate these so that they are facing like this. And peg them in. Like so. Like so. And then we're just going to take these. And slide all that stuff in. Yeah, so then he's like that. And then, want to come up to the top here. You're going to flip these little fins over on both sides, which lets you rotate what will become the arms down. Do that on the other side as well. Wow. And then you will see that there are actually little images showing you where to put these guys. So you want to attach that up here. You're going to attach this like so, right here. And around this other side, you're going to attach this like that right there. And then this like this. Right there. And then all the way up at the top, this is going to be nearly impossible to show off. You're going to take this. Jeez. I'm going to take this, and it's going to plug back into these things. And then out of the side here, going to come a little head, and this is the part that I'm actually really not a huge fan of. And I'm actually going to rotate this guy and lay him down to show this off. So the way that this works is that you're going to take this top part off of the spear weapon, and this is going to become his kind of crown helmet thingamabob. And it connects by this round thing that has these two kind of semi-flat bits on the side squishing into this little gap right here. And that's it. It's not like a clip or a peg or anything. It's basically like a semi-soft plastic getting squeezed into a hole. And it's really not super fun to do, and it's also not the most secure connection that I've ever found on a Sentai toy. I mean, it works, and it's not like it's not gonna fall off or anything, but it's just it doesn't feel very great. It's really my biggest complaint about this entire series of toys is the fact that I'm not a huge fan of the way that connects. So yeah, that is this is him, and sorry, I'm literally trying to squeeze myself underneath my light so I can show this off, because that is how massive this thing is. Here he is next to Dodedai-Oh, who is also just a completely ridiculous set of toys. Here he is with Hao Gekiatsu-Dio, who also barely fits in my display area. I mean, he doesn't fit in my display area, he barely even fits on my desk under this light or anything. So yeah, they're pretty evenly sized, but he's actually bigger. Unless you're counting like the Aka ninja on his head. Here he is with some recent big Transformers, if the scale of Titan Devastator or Combiner Wars Victorian are more helpful for your sizing needs. So yeah, I mean, he's a pretty big guy, and going back way to the beginning, for all those who said that this toy line's too small, I mean, they start off small, but they get real big real quick. Really, the second you start combining more than one of them, you're going from 3 to like 9, so yep. Yeah. I really do like this. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous looking. I mean, not kind of, it's completely ridiculous looking, but it's also really fun, and I think it is interesting enough that I am happy to have it in my collection. It's definitely pretty strange. I mean, he's got like a giraffe gun hand. That's weird, but yeah, I think my only real big complaint about this is the fact that all of this stuff, all of this junk right here, does not get used at all. There's nothing for any of this. And nowhere for auxiliary stuff. And if you happen to have the repaints of these 4 things, then you also have 4 tiny Zords that don't go anywhere. So depending on how much of the extra stuff you own, that's kind of up to you. But just in terms of the basic stuff, ignoring all the auxiliaries and the repaints and stuff like that, all this stuff doesn't have anywhere to go. And granted, that's not as bad as like Tokyo Rainbow, where you're basically leaving 90% of the stuff you just bought on the ground, but it's still just a little bit annoying that, like, I feel like this kind of stuff could have just pegged on somewhere. Doesn't really, I mean, they have shown in the past that it doesn't really need to make all that much sense. So they could have found somewhere to put this stuff, I think. Maybe not this. I mean, this is a pretty hefty piece, so I don't know exactly what they would have done with this that wouldn't have made this really back heavy or something. So I don't know, but it's a little disappointing. But I still enjoy this combination. It is fun. I just don't think, I mean, both for size and also just for stuff being left over, I think I'll probably end up displaying it with Dodekai-Oh and then the Wild Tosai King form, so yeah. I do like him though. I mean, I really do enjoy this set, and I think it's worth it if you like this line and you can afford to get the final part of it to kind of complete it. I mean, it's kind of the whole point of Sentai Mecha, in my opinion, is kind of having the whole ecosystem available to you. But if you're just into a couple of them or something, I really don't think, if you're willing to look at these toys like fun, goofy toys, which is what they are, I think you can get a lot of enjoyment out of these. If you're not into the cube thing, if you're not into weird-looking animals, there's a lot of reasons I could see you not liking or wanting any of the toys in this set, but if you feel as I do, that toys should be fun and a little bit ridiculous, then I think you will probably like this as much as I do. But yeah, and that's really all there is to say. I'm going to show off these two guys in some tiny short little videos, and then we'll be moving on from this stuff and we'll say bye-bye to cubes. So those of you that hate cubes won't have to suffer through them anymore. We're getting close. Alright, thanks for watching this review. Thanks for checking out this big dude. And I will see you guys again next time. Please like and subscribe if you liked and want to subscribe.